Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your girl Sherelle, and if you're tuning in for the very first time, be sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it on all your social media sites, and be sure to comment down below. The review I will be doing from last night will be Tyler Perry's the Oval Office. You already see it in the title, so let's get to it. So we open up with Max and Uma, the Secret Service agents, and they're looking around the president and the first lady room, and look what they find. They find the bloody mattress, and Max is basically trying to convince Uma, like, look, these are some crazy people we're working with. Who bleeds out this much? And Max just running it down. He's like, I know what happened. I think I know what happened, and this is basically what happened. Uma's like, I don't want to get into this, Max. Mind your business. Worry about your business. Not, in the words of Jay Lee's Corner, worry about the business that pays you. But Max just like, I'm not letting it go. This is what Kyle was doing when I was monitoring the elevator. And she was like, Uma's like, you're just coming after Kyle because he took your job. He said, but Uma, this is crazy. So he's trying to convince Uma to go ahead and go along with him and help him because he wants to report all of this, which you should. And she's looking like, look, you're going up against some powerful people and you're not going to win. So just let it go, turn your head, and do your job. Which in some cases, when people are scared to lose their job or scared to be bullied, you know, they'll tell other people to let certain things go. So in a sense, Uma was telling him right and wrong at the same time. You know, just to let it go, mind your business, you know. This is what we're paid for, to mind our business and keep it moving. So let's move on to the next scene. So we got Sam and the first lady in the bunker, and she asking Sam all these questions. Victoria, stop being such a tramp. And she's like, oh, Sam, let me put on your coat. Let me help you put on your coat. And this, that, and the fourth. Just being flirtatious with him, coming on to him. And Sam, she's asking Sam, oh, do you work out? He's like, yeah, I work out military style. She's like, well, maybe you can show me. He's like, no, maybe I can arrange it to have a professional. I'm not the job. I'm not the man for the job to be training you. That's not part of my job, to train you as the first lady. It's to protect you. And I'm just looking at her like, you are something else, Victoria. His wife sitting up there being sweet as she can be to you, and here you are ready to cut this woman down, cut her at the knees. So they leave out of the bunker and they walk into the residential suite with the Kyle, the president, creepy Jason, and Sam, and all of them. They meet up at the residence suite and they're just talking, and Victoria, he's asking Victoria questions, and of course Gail is making her comments, and you know, everybody's basically making their comments back at the residence suite. And you know, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but if you hear some noise in the background, that's my air condition that's going on. So never mind that, you know, pay that no mind. It's kind of hot. Today is a hot day, but anywho, so they're back at the resident. Okay, lockdown is over. It was some kids, you know, basically fooling around, pulling a prank, flying some drones over the White House, and they eventually caught them. And now we're moving on to Kyle and Donald. And Kyle goes into Donald's office and basically tells him the same thing. You know, it was some kids playing with a drone over the White House, and Donald was like, you know, that's stupid because they ruined their life now. And Kyle's basically like, we got a problem. You know, Max, he don't like me. And on top of that, he might have found out what I did, what happened. that Denise is gone. And Donald's like, Max, you sure, Kyle, you sure do like to make a lot of enemies. And he's just laughing it off. Oh, it's no fun if you don't make enemies. Say what now? Kyle, you done lost your everlasting mind. Now we move from Kyle and the president. The president is on fire. Kyle comes up in there trying to be funny and, you know, being a smart aleck. And he's basically telling the president, we have a problem here. We need to remove that mattress out of your room. And your wife basically won't let us. You know, we need your permission to go in there and get the mattress and remove it because, and he's just looking like, Kyle says something smart, funny about Denise or whatever and getting her killed, and he was just looking, the president just snapped. And of course he basically told him, don't ever get beside yourself talking to me like that. I am the president. I'm your boss. So he got a drink in his hand. He on fire. Number one, he probably mad because Denise is dead. He don't know if she killed her, he killed her, or somebody else killed her. So with that being said, so he's basically muscling Kyle. And another thing too, what I thought was funny, when Kyle said to Donald, you know, basically telling Kyle, you know, he is really stupid, the president, and that is not attractive. Like, I am really turned off by his stupidness. And I was just looking like, his wife told Donald he was stupid. Y'all thought she was lying? She been married to him long enough. She should know if her husband's stupid or not. So with that being said, you know, he basically, let's get back to the president and Kyle in the office. And he's, you know, just being so nasty and, you know, demanding with Kyle, which Kyle needed. He needed to be checked. I ain't even mad at President Hunter for that, checking Kyle, because somebody need to check him, because he out of pocket, okay? And he need to get back in pocket. And, you know, he basically told him, look, you better get this done. You better fix it. He said, and let me tell you something. I didn't dismiss you, okay? When I dismiss you, then you go. But he was ready to go off on Kyle. And Kyle knew it. Like, I better play my cards right. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of here. Okay, so let's move on to Sharon and Nancy, where Nancy calls Sharon and basically tell her, why you ain't tell me that my son caught you messing around with that boy? Didn't I tell you to stay strong and not be weak and fall into his BS? And she basically snapped on Sharon, as she should. And, you know, she hung up on her, as she should. Okay? So let's move past that. We move to Richard and Nancy, where Nancy is basically telling Richard, you know, Richard is basically, he's finding out that he's okay. He's at the hospital. He's finding out that he's okay, and he's about to leave. And they just finished doing x-rays on him. And then him and Nancy gets into a conversation, and he basically tells Nancy, you know, Sharon was the one who saved my life. They was glad that a medical student was there, which, you know, hats off to Sharon for that aspect. But girl, you still on the hook, because you shouldn't have been messing around with Kareem. You should have told Barry that you ain't want to deal with him and what you was feeling and how you was feeling. I don't care. Sometimes you just need to blurt certain things out. So he's basic, and Nancy's like, well, I snapped on her because of what she did to Barry. And he's like, well, you need to fix that. She's like, I will. So let's move past that. We have Gail and Freaky Jason. Gail comes into Jason's room. Apparently, he probably is looking at some crazy pornographic stuff, and Gail couldn't take it. So she's like, where's your computer? What's the password? I want to know. So he's just like, no, like, you know. So she happened to look down at his computer and see that, oh, you're still logged on. I can take it. She takes the computer, leaves out. So Gail starts researching a family lawyer so she can get emancipated. She wants to really, truly get emancipated from the family because she's tired of the white hell, is what she likes to call the White House, living in it. So she finds a lawyer and researching them and giving them all types of information, I guess, because she's really had it. Okay, well, let's move past that. Let's move to Sam, Uma, and Kyle. And Kyle, I mean, not Kyle, Max, Sam, and Uma. And basically, Sam is like, oh gosh, I said Sam. Kyle is basically telling Sam, you know, these are some crazy people that we work for. I just seen some stuff in their room that I don't think I should have seen. And basically, you know, I'm a little bit worried and concerned about what I saw. And I'm telling you because of the X, Y, and Z. And Sam's basically because the first lady told him when they were back up in the residence after, you know, the lockdown was over, she told Sam those were the two agents that sweeped our room. Handle that and get them in control. Get them intact. I don't need them telling what they saw in my room. Get it together. So, you know, Sam is just like, look, whatever you see, you need to erase. Mind your business. Keep it pushing. And Uma was like, look, I'm not trying to get into this. I don't want to be into this. Leave me alone with this. I told him to drop it and keep it pushing. So Sam leaves out and Max and Uma is still there, and Max is just going off trying to convince Uma, you know, look, we need to look more into this. We need to report this. And he was like, aren't you a soldier? And she's like, look, don't pull that with me. Don't pull that with me. Yes, I'm a soldier. She was like, well, is it working? And she was like, no, not really, because if I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you. If I'm not, I'm not. So, of course, she winds up breaking down, helping him. We all know that. And, you know, I think Max is doing the right thing, but still, in situations like this, we all see that whistleblowers don't stand a chance. And telling something, see, in today's society, it's not easy to come out and be truthful and tell what you see, because we live in a society, I feel like, where bad is glorified and doing right is scorn, if that makes sense. People glorify what's wrong and they scorn people for doing the right thing. And I feel like, you know, in this situation with the Oval, with Max wanting to tell what he's seen, he's doing what's right, but he's being scorned for it. Now, if he turns his head, he'll be glorified for turning his head. And I understand that, you know, you're Secret Service and you're supposed to keep everything a secret about what you've seen in the White House. And he hasn't come to grips with that because he really is a good guy. And he believes he took his oath serious to protect this office, which some people who take on oath, whatever they feel, whether it be a politician, doctor, or a nurse, or a soldier, may not take their oath serious. And clearly, Max takes his oath seriously. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? To serve, protect, and, you know, basically do what's right according to our Constitution. So, yeah. So let's move past that. What we got next? So we got the First Lady and Priscilla meets up in the residence kitchen. And Priscilla being nice, like, ma'am, would you like anything? Would you like some caramel tea? And she's like, yeah. So they get into this mode, which really got me. I don't care if you're the first lady or not. I need to talk about that one scene too, which I think I might have skirted past that before I talk about this scene with the first lady. So after the lockdown was over, Sam and Priscilla meets up, and Priscilla smells perfume on Sam, and she's like, this is the second time I smell perfume on you. And he's like, look, I basically gave the first lady my coat. My job is to protect her, and this, that, and the fourth, and so forth and on, and yada yada yada. And she was like, let me tell you something, first lady or not, I will cut you know what. High five for you, Priscilla. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly, I don't care if she the first lady or not. Let me find out she messing around with you. Never mind what you done did. I'm gonna gut her like a fish, as she should, because the way I see it, this woman was trying to be nice to you, and you gonna go after her husband. Oh, really? Gut her like a fish, Priscilla. Now, let's move on to the next. We have Priscilla in the kitchen with the first lady, and the first lady is trying to pump Priscilla for information about her marriage so she can get closer to screwing her husband. I said, look at this tramp here. You Jezebel. Hunter was right. He was right. You's a whore. You's a certified whore. You going after somebody's husband after this woman done tried to be nice to you. Well, you're right about Hunter being stupid, and he's right about you being a whore yourself. You calling Denise a whore. Here you is slutting around with Max and Sam and everyone else who will give you attention because Hunter won't. The president. First lady. You the first lady of the United States. Govern yourself accordingly, huzzy. So she's pumping Priscilla, and Priscilla's being nice, not really thinking that she's pumping her for information so she can screw her husband, trying to find out whether she's giving him something he can feel, seeing if there's any cracks in the foundation. And it is. You know, she ain't giving Sam none. She ain't giving Sam nothing he can feel. And now the first lady knows. And she's asking her, have you ever cheated on your husband? And she was like, no. And she was like, well, has he ever cheated on you? She said, no, with a straight face, like, I know my husband. He better not cheat on me, because he know I will gut a chick. I will cut you. I'm like, that's right, Priscilla. You better cut it. First lady and all. She come back, because she was coming after Sam hard. It'd be different if Sam was leading her on and didn't say that he was married. But the fact that she knows you both told her that y'all married, and you coming on to him after his wife done tried to be, you need to be gut like a fish. You need to be gut. But see, Victoria, the first lady, she's going to only have sex with Sam despite Priscilla, because Priscilla checked her and she didn't like to be checked. She was like, you know that's a married man? And she cracked her face and said, yes, that's my husband. And see, Victoria don't like for no one to stand up to her. She likes that challenging feeling because she always wants to triumph over others. Victoria, that's gonna get you in a world of trouble. Only person she don't do that to is her mother, because she know her mother ain't nothing to be played with. Her mama and her daddy, she don't play with nobody else, because her mother told her, one of you MFers will come up dead, and she ain't playing. And Victoria, no, she will come up dead, her or Hunter. Well, we're going to move past that. And we're going to get to Sharon and Sam meeting up. Sam going by the pharmacy to basically ask Kareem to drop the charges against Barry. And Sam had a conversation with her and was like, you know, you got a lot of power because, you know, why you ain't tell me the reason why Barry did all of this? He told me why he did this. And she was just like, well, I'm tired of him treating me the way he is. And she was like, but I understand that, but understand what he's going through, which I've been saying, and probably everybody been saying, the reason why Barry is snapping out like this because his daughter is missing, and on top of that, he caught you cheating. So Sam, she's just like feeling herself, and Sam was like, look, you cheated, and he caught you cheating. Bottom line, is Kareem here? Because I want to talk to him about dropping the charges. Well, can you talk to him? She's like, well, I tried to do that many times. Well, we ain't going to waste too much on that. Dun, 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 dun. We have the showdown of Max and Kyle. And Max and Kyle meets up. And Max basically like, look, I ran the tapes. I seen what you did. I know about Denise. I know something happened to her. And guess what? I got something for you. Now, Max, you don't ever tell your right hand. You don't ever tell your left hand what your right hand is about to do. You should have got Max. Okay? See, Max. You're a good guy, but you got to play it smart. Because Kyle is one of those type of people, he think he's smart. There are three types of people in the world. There's a dumb mother, there's a smart mother, and a wise. Now, Kyle, he's the smart. He thinks he can outsmart everyone, but in the end, he always getting outsmarted by someone else. And in order to beat someone like that, Max, you shouldn't have told him nothing. You should have just let him be clueless and get him. But see, now you done told him. Now he know you got it out for him. And now he gonna do whatever he need to do to you and Uma to get you guys both out of the equation. Okay? Uh-huh. Yep. He gonna get you. And if he don't get you, I'll be surprised at how good you are as an agent. So, Max, slow your roll. Know what you're doing. Yeah, bottom line. So we moved to Kyle and the First Lady. Kyle got two other agents and the president's residential suite, and they got, so the First Lady comes in there, and Victoria being Victoria is like, what the heck are y'all doing in here? Put that mattress down. You ain't moving it out of here. I said I was going to do it because you were too stupid enough. You didn't do it right the first time. And she's like, now take your bony behind out of here. And she was like, do I detect an attitude? And Kyle's like, no, ma'am. And she was like, no, I think I do. He was like, no, ma'am. Which she knew, very much so, that he had an attitude, and she had to check him and tell him, you better take your bony behind out of here before I let loose on you. Now we move back to Max and Uma. What I say, Uma was going to help Max. Max basically convinced Uma, look, just go by Denise's shop. Go look around. Find out any clues that you can find that may have happened, you know, that may be going on, and we're going to basically report this to the proper authorities of what happened, because I know in my heart of hearts that something happened to that girl. And she's like, okay, so let's move past that. We're going to go to Kyle and Donald again, where Kyle comes back to Donald and he basically like, look, Max does know something. And Donald is like, well, you better fix it, and you better not do anything to them, because remember, they're secret agents too. And he was like, handle it. And Donald was like, handle it correctly, not handle it the wrong way. So let's skirt past that. We come to an office, a lawyer's office, where a woman, you know, she's her boss. It's this lawyer. And we find out that Gail, all the research she was doing, she actually found a lawyer now. A lawyer to help her get emancipated. So at first the lawyer didn't know who she was. His assistant or whoever was like, look at the name. And she's like, what do you mean? And he was like, look at the name. And he's reading it. And he's like, oh my God, this is the president's daughter. She wants to be emancipated. Why does she want to be emancipated? She was like, well, I don't know. But all I know is that you have to email her. And this, like, basically, this is candy to them. Real live candy. Candy that they like, oh, yes. This is a scandal all by itself. We about to get paid. And on top of that, we're about to do this. So their wheels are turning back at the law office. And this lawyer seems like he's just oh so busy. He can't even pick up his own kid. So he got his assistant sending someone else to pick up his own kid. They're like, look, your wife said pick up your son. He's like, you know daggone well I can't pick him up. She's like, don't worry about it. I got somebody else to pick him up. And that's that. But, you know, the first daughter wants to be emancipated from the first family. Now let's skirt past that. So we have Uma going to Denise's shop, looking around, and guess what happens? Uma gets shot, and it goes off. So, is it who shot Uma at Denise's store? I believe Kyle sent somebody to do that. Or somebody from the hood was sneaking around in Uma's store and Denise's store and seen two things, I believe. Kyle sent somebody to follow Uma and Max, and he's going to have them shot down. Two, somebody that had no business being in Denise's shop might have shot Uma. But that's all tonight. Last night was a pretty good episode. Yeah, y'all, this keeps on picking up. I done gave y'all 2 different reviews in 1 week, and I done gave y'all Greenleaf, and now I'm giving y'all the Oval. So I will see you guys next time. Next time it's, again, the Greenleaf in the Oval Office, and I can't wait to Love and Marriage Huntsville, Alabama come on, because I will be reviewing that. Real Housewives of Potomac, I will be reviewing that. And let's see what else I can review too. So till next time, Shugs, see y'all.